Today's episode of Friday Rollin' on the BS Podcast is brought to you by SeatGeek, our presenting sponsor and the only fan-friendly app for buying and selling tickets for sports and music. Other sites have the nasty habit of showing you lower prices and charging you huge fees at checkout. At SeatGeek, the price you see is always the price you pay. Download the free SeatGeek app or go to SeatGeek.com. Today's podcast is also brought to you by Starry Station, the world's best touchscreen router for blazing fast Wi-Fi. Lord, I wish we had this in our Any Given Wednesday Ringer offices because we do not have blazing fast Wi-Fi. It's designed to give you a better and smarter way to stream and surf throughout your home. It even has parental controls. God, I need those too. And easy ways to make support calls. Say goodbye to Wi-Fi problems and blinking lights. Control your Wi-Fi on your own. Learn more about Starry Station at starry.com/BS. Don't forget to check out theringer.com. We are in day 10. Could not be happier with this site. We're still hiring people. It's been awesome. Check it out. Check us out on Twitter at Ringer. Any Given Wednesday, my new HBO show, which they're just not promoting enough, in my opinion. I don't feel like they're running the ads enough, and I haven't seen any billboards. That's launching Wednesday, June 22nd, 10 p.m. No Joe House today, but we're still going to Friday roll with Adam. Let's go.
Yeah. Clear enough for you?
All right, as I mentioned, I have a show launching soon.
Can you picture us rolling?
We have to hire writers when you have a television show. I have 3 of them in my office right now. 2 of them are going to be on the podcast. One of them is just going to stare at them, and we might bring them in at one point, but on the podcast right now, Joel Solomon and Pat Barker. Joel wears a Yankee hat to the office every day. It's like you're trying to deliberately defy me and everything I stand for, but that's fine. We'll get into that.
I have to have my thing, I feel.
Yeah, you do. It's your thing. You're like, I'm a Yankee fan. I'm not going to change for you or anybody else. I'm not going to dance for the man. I get it.
I'll be consistent. Season 2, maybe. We'll see.
All right. And then Pat Barker, a diehard Philly fan. Somehow we ended up with like 6 Philly fans between the TV show and the Ringer. Although you hate the Eagles.
Yeah. Strong
How are you a
Phillies,
Philly
Sixers,
fan, but you
Flyers.
hate the Eagles?
Because I grew up surrounded by Eagles fans.
Yeah.
And they're awful people.
Wow.
Okay.
They're just, hot take number 1. Eagles fans are they're brutal. Well, I think what it really was is I was a baseball fan prominently in a football town.
Okay.
And, I would go to Phillies games with 15,000 people in the vet. It's empty. They're getting their asses kicked. And the fans are chanting EAGLES Eagles. And I just built this disdain for the Eagles. And specifically their fans. And many of whom are my friends, my family. And I hate that aspect about them. I hate Eagles fans collectively.
Well, it's a scorching hot take. We also
You're
have
never going to be welcome back.
We have Brendan Lynch here who wears one of 2 giant hats every day. He does not have a mic because we only have 3 mics, but we're going to bring him later as a closer. So you have like 35, 40 minutes to think about a great story that you want to tell. He's nodding. He doesn't have a microphone. No Joe House today. He's playing golf.
Huge shoes to fill. This is...
God.
Yeah.
Come on, Joe House. It's Friday rolling. We're Friday rolling here. We have game 4 of the NBA Finals tonight. I want to talk about that first, and we have some topics we want to hit. The Warriors are getting points tonight. The Warriors are 1.5 point underdogs. They won 73 games. They came back from 3-1 against OKC. They have a better team. They killed Cleveland in the first 2 games. They didn't play well in game 3. Cleveland's the all-time front-running team, and now the Warriors are not favored in game 4. Your thoughts?
Well, I mean, the line doesn't reflect what Vegas actually thinks as much as what they expect people to bet. And if you watched Game 3, it's easy to think that this is a brand new series. Kevin Love is out. They're in Cleveland. The momentum alone made it look like they looked like 2 completely different teams. It was like a body switch.
What do you think, Joe?
Home court has been crazy throughout the NBA playoffs. It's like different teams when they're at home. But I've never seen anything like the NBA playoffs where between 2 days, the media, fans just completely pivot on.
It's unbelievable.
And that is why I mean, yes, these are still the Warriors. Steph is definitely someone that I would worry about right now. What's wrong with Steph? Is it injuries? Is he just hitting a cold streak? But they're still the Warriors. It's still the same team. They could easily come out tonight and win by 20. Probably not, but...
Well, and Cleveland also has, because of just something about them, when they're up 15, they look like one of the 5 greatest teams. They basically turn into the Showtime Lakers crossed with the 2016 Warriors. But it always happens when they're up between 15 and 22 points. And J.R. Smith's just firing away. Kyrie's doing his thing.
It's funny because the Warriors sometimes play better when they're down 10. Not when they're getting blowed out, but like 10 when they're in that 10-minute...
they need to get slapped in the face when they rally. They just didn't do it in game 3.
The Cavs have a lot of momentum guys. Like when momentum is on their side, Kyrie looks unstoppable. J.R. Smith, even LeBron. LeBron gets passive, I feel like, when they're behind.
Yeah.
And when they're ahead, he's in attack mode. He's going to the basket. And when they're behind, he'll get the ball, hold it for 6 seconds, and then give it to J.R. Smith.
Coming out on that 9-0 run was huge for the Cavs. A little bit of confidence, that swagger. The Cavs need it. Where sometimes the Warriors just don't doubt themselves, but the Cavs, I think, really need to come out strong, have a lead. Yeah.
Well, so a couple things just historically. The Warriors have been in the conversation with the 86 Celtics, the 96 Bulls, the 87 Lakers, some of the all-time great teams. The 86 Celtics were never underdogs in a playoff game. I'm just throwing that out there first. Never happened. Never would have happened. Same thing for the 96 Bulls. I don't remember in Seattle in the finals, the 96 Bulls getting 2 points.
Well, they didn't have Timothy Mozgov. So, I mean, the game changer.
So that was one thing. The other thing is, I think there's some... I don't like the hot take culture and the people overreacting to stuff. I think it's weird that Steph hasn't played a good finals game yet. We are now a week into the finals... And I think it might have been game 2, and he just got into foul trouble, and he was never able to get. And all of a sudden, they're up 20, and he just never got in the flow. But in a weird way, this is kind of a statement game for him.
Yeah,
I think he has to play well tonight.
I agree. I mean, the thing about games 1 and 2 is that they won by such a large margin that you're able to look at it and be like, "Wow, they won," and Steph didn't even have to get going.
Right.
And then in game 3, when you lose by 30, it's like, well, they lost because Steph didn't get going.
But his body language was terrible. He had a weird look on his face.
He's been awful. Steve Kerr was asking him on the bench, "Are you okay?"
Right.
Which is troubling, with a back-to-back MVP that you even have to ask that. But yeah, he did.
Like, you guys saw me on the test show on Tuesday. My body language was great.
It was
None of you guys were like, is he okay? Is he all right? I was ready for the test show.
Yeah.
Steph Curry, it's like, this is the finals. There's 20 million people watching. What are you doing? So here's my theory, because I know one of the things we want to talk about today is what's wrong with Steph Curry and is he overrated? Was that one of your
Certainly
how did you
not
frame
my
it?
take.
Was that Pat's our hot take
I'm
artist.
I'm the hot take guy. I don't even think Steph Curry is that good at basketball.
Okay, great.
No,
Cut his mic. Just cut it.
I believe the question was, is he a choke artist? Is he unclutch? Here's a hot take, internet. Steph Curry is the Peyton Manning of basketball.
Oh.
Are we ready to go there?
He won a title last year.
Yeah, so did Peyton Manning.
Oh,
They both won. The parallels are eerie, Bill.
I have a theory. The new shoe that was coming out, the Chef, which took a beating on the internet yesterday. Do you think he saw maybe he didn't see that shoe until like a week ago, and they sent him like, "Hey man, here's the shoes, man. Here's what it looks like," and he was like, "Oh my god, I'm gonna take a beating on the internet." And it just got in his head.
He's playing like a guy who knows that is his shoe. Yeah. And that he has to wear that.
I'm dead serious. Is it possible he's freaked out about the shoe?
Between that and the Instagram girl sitting row 1, he has a lot on his mind. The
wife didn't like that. There's no way.
That had to have come up at the Curry house.
There's no way. Well, the other thing, they quietly mentioned last round that he got a shot in his elbow before game 6. So that tells me his elbow is actually really bad, because my whole philosophy on when somebody injects things into your body, either they're doing it as a preventive measure or because you're in pain. Those are really the two, unless you have a heroin problem. Brendan, is there any other reason to get injected? No. Brendan says no.
Dynamite dropping.
So it's great. He's here all podcast. But yeah, that tells me he's hurt, and he's got, what was the other injury he had?
Well, he started with the ankle, and then he had the knee.
The knee.
And then the elbow.
But I thought last round, because I was convinced he was hurt, and then when I went to Game 5 against OKC, and I was watching him cut around the picks and say he's fine, like his knee's fine.
But that's where I think is the problem in this series. Steph usually can create his own shots. With Clay, you get him on his spot, and he's a marksman. With Steph, I just don't think he can create his own shots. These are long guys. LeBron's quick. Jefferson's playing him tight, and maybe that is
Jefferson,
which is insane. Which is crazy.
The Warriors,
the savvy veteran.
The Warriors had to give first-round picks to Utah to take Jefferson away 3 years ago, and now he's like the third best player in the Cavs.
There's always someone in the final. Well, Iguodala last year, it always steps up. Now this year, Jefferson, who, by the way, Luke Walton played with at Arizona and now is going to be the head coach of the Lakers.
I know, they were like buddies. There were weird yacht photos of them, remember? There was that one sports blog moment like 8 years ago. They're on yachts wearing like weird rich guy clothes. They took like a 2-day beating. Pat remembers all sports blog moments.
I'm a big yacht guy, so anything involving yachts is pretty much my wheelhouse.
Do you think Curry, like everybody's been chipping him for 4 rounds?
Yeah.
And I was watching it. I really noticed it just being at that one game, and it was like anytime he came around to pick, somebody was throwing the elbow out, throwing the knee out, banging him, hitting him on picks, trying to blindside pick him. And I do wonder, maybe he's not built to take that kind of beating. Like MJ, LeBron, guys like that, they're like battering rams. LeBron just comes in, he's never hurt. Maybe Curry's just breaking down.
Yeah, well, I don't think that teams played him particularly physically during the season.
A couple teams, the Clippers did, the Celtics did, and that was really it.
Yeah, and the Celtics, other than Oklahoma City, had probably the most success against them this year.
Yes.
I think it's a cumulative effect of getting bumped around for 4 series, suffering legitimate injuries, and not being able to get a rhythm going. He just hasn't played the kind of minutes that you would during the regular season. Every night he was for the first 3 quarters getting a rhythm going, and I just feel like he hasn't been able to do that in the playoffs.
I feel like you have something sarcastic to say and you're holding back. I don't want you to hold back, Joel. You have a comment.
This Curry hate.
That's what you're mad at Pat.
He did it all season. Tonight he could very well drop 40, and that's why he's probably banged up. It would help if Clay showed up in this series. That would certainly help.
So here's the case for the Warriors. Just the way they're built, they're constructed that if they play 5 games. In one of those 5 games, Clay is going to be awesome. And in one of those 5 games, Steph is going to be awesome. And then there's like a 50% chance that in that 3rd game, Steph and Clay together are going to be awesome. So just law of averages say one of those guys is going to be awesome tonight. And this is what we said. I think it was House before Game 6. And I was saying like OKC's a better team. But with Golden State, that one variable you can't predict is, are those guys going to go off? They're just due to go off in this series. The fact that Clay or Steph, Clay nor Steph?
I think it's Nor.
Nor Steph.
Nor.
Clay nor Steph has gotten hot in the finals yet is kind of an anomaly.
Yeah, but didn't we say the same thing after 3 games last year? Specifically about Steph? After 3 games, everybody was like, oh, he's due. Game 4 is the one he's going to go off. And then he's due. Game 5 is the one where and he never really, Game 6, a little bit.
You're really convinced he's the Peyton Manning of the NBA, even though he's already won a title. I
mean, that might be a little hot takey, but I think it's a fair question. I think it's a fair question to ask. Like, where there's smoke, is there fire? If it was just this year, you could chalk it up to the injuries. I feel like last year he didn't have that excuse. Like, it's not just Peyton Manning. Like, there have been athletes historically who do not perform as well in championship games. He could be one. I'm not saying he definitively is. I'm just saying it's not unreasonable to ask.
They're just bored in Cleveland, guys. Let's be honest. This is a long road. They got through Oklahoma City. Now, I mean, they're
maybe that's a good theory. Maybe just on the road at OKC, followed by on the road at Cleveland, you just get sad.
That's a rough stretch.
What are you gonna do?
That's a rough stretch.
Like, all right, hey guys, you want to go to Morton's again? There's not a lot going on in Cleveland, and there's less going on in OKC. It's possible.
The other thing I do actually think, no joking, I would worry about it tonight. I'm curious to see what you think. If Draymond gets a technical, if somehow the Cavs row him up and they lose, going back to Golden State, or if somehow Draymond does get that second technical and gets benched a game, I mean that would be trouble.
Now you have Brennan's attention because in a
Yes.
sports movie, they would send like the 12th man out. James Jones or Dante Jones.
Yes.
One of the Joneses just goes out and just tries to hockey fight Draymond, basically.
Yeah.
That's a good
I think
move.
that's brilliant.
Yeah, that would be a great move. Is Cleveland smart enough to do that?
I mean, they when they sent in James Jones at the end of game 2, which was a blowout, Steph was still in the game for some reason. There was about 6 minutes left. And the first thing James Jones did when he got in there was knock Steph down on a hard screen.
Yeah.
And that's not a coincidence. And they pulled Steph out immediately. So, yeah, I think if James Jones has to be the enforcer of the team, I say go for it. Absolutely.
Do you still have Tyronn Lue's number in that cell phone?
Tyronn Lue, I guarantee KG, who is, I think Tyronn Lue is either his best friend or his second best friend. I bet he's in Ty Lue's ear being like, go and stay there, pussies. Gotta bang them around. Send James Jones out to get Draymond in a fight.
Okay. Oh, what a spot for Ty Lue though. This is huge.
Hold on. I want to talk about 5-4 Club. Guys, do you like shopping? You like
Of course.
shopping?
We have paychecks now. This is amazing.
Yeah.
No, but do you like going to the store and shopping, or would you rather
Absolutely
just
not.
Wouldn't you rather have somebody just deliver clothes to your house?
Yeah.
I didn't know I had the option.
Yeah. Oh, you have the option. Are you lazy? Would you say you're lazy shoppers?
Look at me. I was late for this podcast.
Yeah, you were like.
And I was later than he was.
Yeah, that's true. You're both lazy. In that case, the 5-4 Club has you covered. They provide styling advice. Do you need styling advice?
Look at me.
Yeah, you definitely need styling advice and recommendations. They will make you a styling profile. They'll deliver clothes to your door every month. 4 style profiles: classic, casual, forward, and mix. They do not have a hot take profile yet, and or exceedingly sarcastic. They don't have either of those. Go to 54club.com. Use promo code BS at sign up. Get 50% off your first package. You get $120 worth of clothing for $30 for your first month's package. They mailed me some. I think on Wednesday, I wore a little 5-4 Club in the office. Yeah, so check that out. 5-4 Club. Let's go through your topics.
Well,
We hit
touched on
Steph Curry a
Steph.
little bit.
Sure.
What was that? The next one was Kevin Love.
Yeah, we were talking about the other day. What would you do if you're the Cavs and Kevin Love is cleared to play Game 4? How do you use him? What do you do?
Joel, what's your answer?
Which is what's going to happen. Come off the bench, which is probably lucky for the Cavs right now. Shockingly, they didn't do it in Game 1. Pat has a different take.
I don't let him in the building. I tell him to just stay away.
You tell him the time of the game has been changed?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
We had a terrorist threat in the stadium. We're going to play this tomorrow now. Friday,
I
it's
would
off.
go all out on whatever lie it takes to keep Kevin Love away. Maybe have his limo driver just make a wrong turn and end up in like Cincinnati or something. I don't want him. If I'm the Cavs, unless he's the guy who's going to come in and mess with Draymond Green, unless you want him taking the James Jones role, I have no role for him. They're a better team without him on the floor.
But
at
we knew
least
this
against
before the
Warriors.
finals.
Well, what's done is done, Bill. I don't coach
Right.
the team. I'm telling you.
I was stunned. Like I was saying, I was tweeting a little bit during game 2. It was just like, they're going to get swept if they don't emphasize defense a little more. And you can't play Kevin Love and Kyrie at the same time in this series. Because the Golden State, the ball movement, they're just going to keep getting open threes. They won both of those games by 20 plus. And they didn't even play well.
And
so you
you
have to fix that.
And you had the litmus test of 2 games in the regular season. Last year's
Yeah.
finals, even Steven Adams, Oklahoma City, if Mozgov could be Steven Adams light with or without the tattoos and the mustache.
I love Mozgov.
I really do.
He's just running around like Frankenstein.
He's like the Drago.
He set a nice cheap pick on Klay Thompson, though.
Oh, that
and
was
everyone's
not
arguing.
cheap.
It was like, oh, that's not cheap. That's basketball. It's like, that's not a place on the court where you set a pick.
By the way, how much do you love at one point in that game? It was 4 Knicks and I believe Kyrie Irving on the floor.
Oh, yeah.
It was like Shumpert, Mozgov,
It was
J.R. Smith,
like, yeah.
and there's one
There's
more.
Knicks spread everywhere.
But this was, I mean, it is weird. Like, who was the better general manager, Phil Jackson or LeBron? Because LeBron is now winning with these guys, whereas Carmelo, not so much.
Well, so that's the fundamental problem with this team is first of all, that LeBron's the GM. I'm pretty sure he's not qualified to be a GM. But he also, when he went there, he put together a team that was based on what was succeeding from like 2007 to 2013. He put together like a past tense contender. He didn't realize that the league was changing. So you trade Wiggins for Love. Love play. I think LeBron, in whatever iteration of basketball this is now, he has to be a 4. Like, to play him at small forward is idiotic. Like, he actually, you could talk me into him being a 5.
Right? Yeah.
You can't have him and Kevin Love on the court at the same time and then also play Tristan Thompson. It's like, that's basketball from 2009. So this Love thing, and Jonathan Jarks did a good job of writing about it in The Ringer yesterday. This Love thing pushed LeBron to the 4, which is where he should have been playing against a team like Golden State anyway. Mm-hmm. And I don't feel like this is Kevin Love's fault as much as it's just the team he's on. They have too many power forwards and not enough perimeter guys.
Here's why I feel like it is at least partially Kevin Love's fault. We know what Kevin Love is as a defender. So I'm not going to blame Kevin Love for being a poor defender. He's always been one. That's,
right.
Not his fault.
You blame him for getting concussed?
Absolutely. Get your head out of the way. No, I blame him for, in games 1.5, not doing what he's capable of offensively. He was taking the ball to the rack. He was the biggest player down there, and he wasn't finishing. He wasn't hitting threes. He wasn't finishing from under the basket. So it's like, if you don't offer me anything defensively, and on top of that, now you don't offer me anything offensively, seriously, what good are you? I don't understand what the argument for having him in the game at any point is.
Well, this is where maybe coming off the bench and not I do like your theory, keeping him out of the building. But if they need him, coming off the bench, if Cleveland is struggling scoring, it is a lot to ask of these guys. They're not when they're scoring 70 points, they're not going to beat Golden State. So maybe coming off the bench, that will, you're right, if he can put points on the board, that's where Love maybe does help in these games where Cleveland can't get offense going.
Well, especially if they put the ball in his hands. I've been thinking about this a lot because I'm worried that the Celtics are going to panic trade for him. And then I talk myself into the panic trade, and then I talk myself out of it. And, the guy was so good in Minnesota a couple years ago.
You wanted him in Boston, right?
I still kind of want him in Boston because I think about all the shots that Jared Sullinger took and missed on the Celtics. These wide open threes at the top of the key that the Stevens offense, slash and kick, just creates these great shots for big guys. And none of the big guys in the Celtics could make them. We had Olynyk, you had Amir Johnson, you had Sullinger. None of them were really great three-point shooters. Olynyk was pretty good. That's about it. And then you put Kevin Love in that offense just in the Sullinger spot, and you ask him to do everything they asked Sullinger to do. And I think he'd be successful. And I do think in basketball, it does matter your situation.
Yeah. Sure, for sure.
Like if you guys came to the TV show and you're comedy writers and we're like, hey guys, we want you to edit some bits. That's what you guys are going to do on this show. You'd be like, I'm not good at this. I write comedy. That's kind of what they've done to Kevin Love. They put him in the corner. Anytime they have him post up, it almost seems like he's rusty. Like he can't. He's like, I got the ball. I got to do something, and he's trying too hard.
Yeah, no, I agree.
I think he's way in his own head, and I think it's salvageable. I really do.
Yeah, no, I think a change of scenery would be great for Kevin Love, but
totally.
I don't feel like on Cleveland it's going to work.
Like the fact, like you said before, how bad he was on the post ups in the finals. Yeah. The guy was a great post-up player in Minnesota. Like that would, like you put him on the block and he had a little fadeaway, he'd go baseline, he had like a nice little running hook into the lane, and now he's like a spaz. And I don't know how you lose the ability to play in the low post.
Well, I think personally, Kyrie isn't enough of a pass first point guard to get him those shots.
That's an understatement.
Yeah, I mean, if LeBron was the primary ball handler, I think Kevin Love would be way better off.
Right.
Because he could knock down those shots. But I just don't think he fits into the LeBron-Kyrie mold. I just don't think...
I think it's two really tough guys to play with when they're on the court together.
He could end up being really good on Boston or even worse for the Knicks. And I'm rooting for the latter.
How about the Sixers?
I love a good train wreck.
Sixers?
No, we'll pass.
Really?
Yeah. Okay. On behalf of Jerry
Colangelo,
we're going to take a hard pass on Kevin Love.
The guy who comes out the best, by the way, is Jerry West. When Golden State, everyone was like, "Oh my gosh, of course you trade Klay Thompson." And Jerry West reportedly gave such a hard no. He's like, listen, guys, you hired me to do one thing, no basketball. I appreciate that you're tech billionaires, but if you trade Klay Thompson, I'm out of here. I won't swear on
and
your
they
podcast.
They spent like 3 months debating whether to do that trade or not. And there was like 2 camps.
Yeah.
And Steve Kerr was in the keep Klay thing because the keep Klay thing was like, this is like the most unbelievable advantage to have these 2 guys making threes, and they're young and they're going to get better, and there's not a lot of 2 guards. But Kevin Love was one of the like 11 best players in the league.
On Minnesota.
And they're offering him, basically Klay. The problem was Minnesota fucked it up. If Minnesota because Minnesota wanted Harrison Barnes too. They wanted Klay Thompson, Harrison Barnes, and David Lee's contract. And Golden State was like, no way. I mean, if they had just been like Klay and David Lee for Love, let's just do it right now. That would have been an awesome trade for Minnesota. I mean, they would have had Wiggins, Klay, Rubio, Towns. A year later, maybe they don't get Towns. I don't know.
Well, they wouldn't have had. Oh yeah, no, I guess they would. Yeah.
I mean, if they had looked down the lottery,
Right.
And then you're here sitting with Craig Kilborn talking about Minnesota Timberwolves in the finals, and not us.
Have you seen his pass on YouTube?
The pass.
I hadn't seen it. When he brought that up, I didn't know what it was. We talk about Casper mattresses, obsessively engineered American-made mattresses at a shockingly fair price. Do you guys like your mattresses?
They could be better.
I could use a new one out here.
Oh, come on, Casper. How many hours a night do you guys sleep?
Not enough.
7?
I get it. I get a good 8 in there.
8?
Yeah.
So 1/3 of your life you spend sleeping.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't understand. Why wouldn't you guys have a good mattress? Casper brings together 2 comfy technologies for better nights, better days. Latex foam and memory foam. So they've got just the right sink and just the right bounce, no matter how you sleep. Even better, a risk-free trial and return policy. They'll deliver it straight to you. You can try it for 100 days. If you're not happy, they will pick it back up. They sent one to me. It's really good. $500 for a twin-size mattress, $950 for a king-size mattress. That's an outstanding price point. And right now, you can get $50 off any mattress purchase by going to casper.com/BS. Use code BS. Terms and conditions apply. Casper.com BS. You like your...
I have one.
You have one? Yeah. Do you like it?
It's great.
Okay. You know what? I think I figured out how to use Brendan here at the end. We asked him what his last 3 internet deep dives were.
Oof.
Oh my God.
That'll be great.
I can't
right?
wait to hear
That'll
that.
be great. All right. You think of that, Brendan. All right. What's next on our list of topics?
Would you play for Team USA? I'm going to ask you first, Bill. Given the political climate and Zika virus and everything, would you play for Team USA?
I'm a bad person to ask because I'm just terrified of viruses. And I'd be afraid to go, and I would come up with some fake excuse like Steph Curry did. I'm banged up. I can't go. I'm not saying it was a fake excuse, but I'm saying it's the kind of excuse I would have used. Yeah, my ankle hurts, my knee hurts. I can't make it.
I'm good, guys.
I'm good. Good luck. Good luck with the gold medals.
Bring it home.
Yeah, I'll be watching. I'll be cheering you. There's no way I would go there. The more people that are in one place, the more dangerous it is. I think this whole thing's terrifying.
There's probably not going to be many people at the Olympics.
I went 4 years ago. It was the most people I've ever seen in my life, and they're all packed together. I don't know. It makes me super nervous.
This is good for Spain. Spain is now excited to win the gold medal then.
Are we sure these guys are going to go?
No, they're probably. I'm just putting this out there. If nobody in the NBA wants to play, I will play. Like, I came in prepared to discuss this as a hypothetical, but if it gets down to like my spot on the roster, I'll go. I'm 5'8". I'm in terrible shape. But I could shoot 20% from 3.
Pat got into wrestling take yesterday because he thinks if you are a Steph or I don't know who else dropped out, LaMarcus, I think, you're anti-American if you don't show up for Team USA. And that was if Tate had
virus or no virus.
Virus or no virus, you're showing up.
The anti-American Peyton Manning of basketball.
What? Yeah. One thing I was thinking, if none of the NBA players want to go, we send like the best celebrity players that we have, like Common and who the guy Jesse Williams,
the Biebs,
Cameron.
Yeah, Cameron. Like we just no Kevin Hart because we won't win. But we just send celebrities, and maybe that's the way to go. Or we just like maybe the worst team, and maybe the Sixers have to go. This is your penance for tanking the last 3 years. We're sending.
I'd be excited to see the Sixers actually win a game. As a Sixers fan, that would be exciting to see Joel Embiid beat up on Angola. I would get a kick out of that.
First of all, you get hurt.
Sure.
You get hurt either in the practice, or it could be a Paul George injury, or you could actually get hurt during the game. Also, like, it's just kind of nice to, especially if you're somebody who's played 3 or 4 rounds, like Durant, where you played, for 8 straight months. Why do I want to now go to the Olympics and compete and then rest for a month, and now I'm in the NBA season? I'd rather have the time off. Durant already won.
Yeah.
Unless you're like Westbrook, who just wants to play.
Yeah, Westbrook's a maniac.
Westbrook's a cyborg.
Westbrook's like, I'll go. I'm not afraid of any virus. I'm going.
Let's do it. Yeah, I will play in anywhere, anytime. Let's do it.
But if
maybe we just send Westbrook and he just picks 11 of his friends, and that's our Olympic team.
But if you're Anthony Davis, do you go? I go if I'm Anthony Davis. What else am I going to do?
Does he have a bad shoulder?
Yeah, so.
And Carmelo
counterpoint.
needs the win. I feel like Carmelo is building now to be like the greatest Olympian of all time. That's his path.
That's like 5 gold medals.
Yeah, just like I'll go be the Michael Phelps of USA basketball.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
I like that. So then when people talk about how many gold medalists, it's like him, Carl Lewis, Michael Phelps, Carmelo Anthony.
And Kurt Angle, the greatest Olympian.
Kurt Angle.
And Bruce Jenner.
That's Carmelo's path.
Careful.
Oh, okay.
He won. What won?
He was pretty good. He was on a Wheaties box.
How many American decathletes have actually won the gold medal? Brendan, you know this. No?
Did Dan or Dave?
No, Dan and Dave didn't. Neither of those guys won. I like the idea of Westbrook, a couple shooters, and like 9 rebounders.
Send the Globetrotters.
And it's like Kobe's farewell game every single game. Westbrook just shooting 45 times and yelling at everybody and just walking around with that Westbrook just being mad. I like your idea, too, of using the Olympics as salvation for people who just can't get over. Like, maybe we just send like Dwight Howard and Carmelo and all these guys who just can't. Kyle Lowry.
Yeah.
Kevin Love.
Kevin Love. It becomes redemption.
Guys who never won a ring. Maybe it's like a retirement send-off. Those are the guys that get to.
Let's send Kobe too.
What do you think about sending all retired players?
I love that. That I love.
Like, what if Karl Malone was representing us and people like that?
I mean, we wouldn't win, but it would be fun.
It would be fun.
Just like the senior NBA tour.
MJ would be fun.
MJ's
53-year-old MJ back. I'm back.
The bat signal just goes off.
If you put Barkley on the team, I'm in.
Would you send the D-League champions?
I'd rather see the retired players.
College? Would you go 22 and under? Because that's where I think they should go with this anyway. I think it's
22 and under is all pros. Everybody plays 1 year in college. So on the off chance that your 1 year happens during the Olympics, then sure. But everybody's one and done. So yeah, if you want to go 22 and under, like NBA players, like I'm all for that.
Calipari doesn't want these guys going. They could get hurt. They're about to make millions.
Could send Towns. Send who else could we send?
Simmons,
Devin Booker, like a bunch of those type of guys.
Send Buddy.
Well,
Buddy Hield. Buddy's too old. He's 27. How old is he?
There was a great article on theringer.com the other day. You guys should check out.
That's really sweet.
Yeah, like what was the worst team that we could send and still win the gold medal?
I voted for Kobe and all rebounders.
Yeah, I think that's a fun game to play. Like, not hypothetically, play it in reality. Like, just try to get away with that.
What do you think of both Lopez brothers being like kind of the backbone of the team and just being goofy?
Ooh.
Like stories about how the Lopez brothers have taken over Olympic Village. They're beloved. Everyone loves them. They're so goofy. They arranged a screening of Toy Story 3.
They have all the pins. People love them.
That's my dream podcast for the Ringer Podcast Network.
Are the 2 Lopez brothers?
The 2 Lopez brothers with the podcast every week. If the Lopez brothers are listening, you can have a podcast for us. Just email me. What would they talk about every week?
Hailing cabs in Brooklyn, maybe. I don't. Well, what
have you followed the Lopez brothers at all? Like
I'm gonna be honest. I'm uninformed on the Lopez brothers.
Brooke went to Comic-Con. He's like a huge.
Yeah, they go to Comic-Con. Like there's photos of like Robin Lopez by himself at Disney World the day before a Lakers game, like just soloing down there and going on the rides and stuff. This 7-foot guy, like next to all these little kids. Yeah, they're like little kids that they're like Josh Baskin and big. If Josh Baskin and Big switched bodies with 7-footers, that's who they are.
Okay.
So if they want a podcast, they're more
So
than
I'm in.
available.
So we got the Lopez brothers, we got Carmelo, we got
How about
Kobe,
the Lopez brothers, Westbrook, Carmelo, and 8 role guys. We're good.
Carl Anthony Towns,
We've built a great team. Colangelo.
Kevin Love.
Would you bring J.R. Smith to start an international incident or no?
Yes. Yes.
He would. He'd have
You
to.
need a wild card like the Barkley. Yeah. J.R. Smith would be good.
That's one of my predictions for tonight. Like if we make predictions that we don't know if they're actually going to happen, but just throwing them out there at like 10-1 odds. The Warriors being up by 20, followed by J.R. Smith doing something horrible. Like shoving somebody into the basket support or a trip or like one of his, like the time when he knocked out Jay Crowder. Because he'll do that 3 times a year. He'll do something crazy that would not be legal in real life.
I'd love to see him and Draymond get into it.
Right.
I'm fired up from all the recent baseball fights.
Yeah, that's your Draymond
Rougned
guy.
Odor and Manny Machado and everything like that. That's what I want. If I could pick how the game ends tonight, I don't care who wins. I just want J.R. Smith and Draymond Green to throw hands.
Tate, how easy would it be to get Draymond upset in a technical on him? Wouldn't it take like 5 seconds?
I mean,
It's like one insult, right?
well, he's trying to get you to do that. So, like, you're going back and forth.
So that what J.R. Smith should do is he should get all this intel on Draymond, find out one girl in Draymond's life in the last 5 years that's like a sore spot. Either some girl Draymond couldn't get, or somebody that broke up with him, or somebody who also had sex with another NBA player who's not as good as Draymond. Any of that, and you just bring that up second quarter. And you just get in his head and make him mad, and now turns into alpha dog Draymond. That's what you need.
I agree.
You go right.
Psychological
This is where
warfare.
Psychological
Brendan
warfare.
is now going to find that thing.
What if
on
he
the deep
found
dive.
Draymond's current girl and actually had sex with her before the game?
In Brazil?
Is she in Brazil?
What was the last topic we had talked about?
We got to talk about my boy Sam Hinkie.
Oh, so dude, make the case for Sam Hinkie.
The case for Sam Hinkie is you bring in a guy who you ask him to completely overhaul everything. You ask him to tank. You ask him to lose on purpose and rebuild from the ground up. And then after 2.5 years, you panic and fire him. That's insane. That's insane to judge him by the results on the court when that wasn't his job. Nobody wanted him to win. They brought him in with the specific instruction, you are to lose, and then he lost, and they're like, you're a loser, get out of here. That's crazy.
So you're a Hinkieologist.
Absolutely. When I look at some of the GMs who have had 8, 9, 10, 12 years, like in Utah, the guy's been there for 9 years. Like, how does he get 9 years?
Or the Orlando guy?
Yeah.
The Orlando guy's been in the top 7 for 100 years.
That's what I'm saying. And Hinkie, as a Philadelphia fan, I saw 5 years in a row where they were like a 7 seed and they would go in and lose in 6 games. I got sick of it. I enjoyed the last 3 years because there was hope.
So
there
if
was
he
hope
gets-
for the future.
If he gets Karl Towns a year ago,
Yeah.
he's a genius and the plan worked.
Is he?
It
Because
doesn't-
Karl
yeah.
Towns is going to be like a 3-time MVP.
Right. No, I agree with that. But if you put Karl Towns on this year's Sixers, how many games do you think they would have won?
I think they would have realized pretty quickly this guy's great and we need to start building around him now.
So
he
you
doesn't have
don't get
bad
upset
habits.
with Hinkie that he was terrible at evaluating talent?
That's the thing. Like he didn't really make any great picks.
I'm not giving him a good grade. I'm giving him an incomplete because he needed more time.
But if you're going to do this whole thing where you're going to take guys who can't come over to America for 2 years and take big risks and take guys with broken feet, why do you take 22-year-old Michael Carter Williams over Giannis, the Greek freak, who he was like 18 and he was a potential guy. You never knew. Like, why not just take all potential guys? Why do it both ways? That's the part I didn't get.
Yeah, the MCW pick was inconsistent with the rest of the plan. I agree with that.
I agree.
And-
it's the one
and-
that didn't make sense.
But on the surface, it's the only one that seemed to work out because he won Rookie of the Year. But I agree.
I didn't vote for him.
Do you have a vote?
I have a vote.
Fantastic.
And
You voted.
Not only did I not vote for him, but his agent got salty about it.
Really?
Yeah. And I'm like, why do I have to vote for somebody who put up stats on a terrible team? I don't know if he's good.
Right.
I forget who I voted for, but it wasn't him. I'm not voting for somebody on a 12-win team. Give me a break.
No,
you could start on a 12-win team. The team's going to suck anyway. Like, who cares?
Yeah,
You don't think
I
Nerlens
agree.
is good, right?
I think Nerlens could be an effective defender.
Could he be Bismack
rebounder.
Biyombo someday?
I think he could be better than Bismack Biyombo.
Okay. There's no evidence whatsoever to say that. Joel, what do you think?
The Sixers need to trade this pick. That we know for sure.
We need to trade it for 2 second-rounders. That's our blueprint.
There's no sure thing. So, like, I always look at it like, what would Belichick do? I think Belichick has played this stuff as well as anybody. He's always figured out, like, how to move back, how to pick up more picks, how to get as many chances as you can. Why wouldn't they just move backwards 2 spots with the Celtics, who are just desperate to take all of these dumb picks they have and overpay for something? Why not move back 2 spots? Take Jamal Murray, who's shooting the lights out and all these things. He made 79 of 100 threes in his Boston workout. You get 3, 16, 23, 31, 35. We'll give you, like, we just overpay for it. And then you have all these chances to get lucky. I mean, look at the draft last year. Devin Booker fell to 13. Miles Turner fell to 11. Justice Winslow fell to 10. Like, these guys are great NBA players, are going to be great NBA starters.
I guess it depends on how you evaluate Ben Simmons. If you're drinking the Ben Simmons Kool-Aid, you take him.
But for the
one.
team you have, he makes no sense unless you got rid of like 3 of the guys you already took.
And they need the Sixers need multiple players.
You need perimeter guys. The whole league has gone toward the perimeter. That's another thing with the hinky people. The whole league went to the perimeter and shooters and creators and guys like Curry and Klay Thompson and all these dudes. And yet he's just taking these guys from 15 years ago. That makes sense.
Yeah.
That's a part. Nobody's been able to explain that part.
Except for Nick Stauskas.
That's true.
Give him credit
we
on
did
that
get
one.
Nick Stauskas.
I mean,
that's
the
true.
hot sauce.
Yeah.
So how do the hinkyologists explain that part? If he was such a genius, why didn't he seem to have any idea where basketball was going?
Well, I feel like you could argue that Dario Saric could fill that role. I mean, everybody looks at the picks that are here. It's easy to forget about Dario
He's a
Saric
forward
he's
too.
Yeah, but
He played the exact same position as Ben Simmons. Joel's making a confused face.
All these. I didn't even know that guy.
Sorry.
That says enough in itself.
I liked him I did that draft that year for ESPN. He was one of my favorite prospects because he's fiery. He's one of those. He's like, you know, those Europeans that they make the shot and they turn to the crowd and they do like European bad guy things. Like he's got a little of that.
All right.
To me,
But so did Andrea Bargnani.
the solution at this point, you trade Okafor for D'Angelo Russell. You know the Lakers don't want to deal with the D'Angelo Russell headache anymore. So you get smaller that way.
So you bring in one of the worst. You bring one of the worst locker room chemistry guys of the past 5 years.
He's like 19.
That's your plan.
He's 20.
He's fine.
He learned from that.
He'll never use Snapchat to break up a teammate's relationship again.
If he does that twice, I would be very surprised. If he does that again, then
he'll never do that
I
again.
will come back on the podcast and admit that you were a genius.
Okay.
If he uses Snapchat to expose somebody's infidelity 2 times, then
Yeah.
I'm with you. But otherwise, you trade Okafor for Russell, you draft Ben Simmons, and
Okafor for Russell's on the table?
it's on my table.
Okay.
I don't have access to their notes, but that's what I would do.
Couldn't they have just drafted him then to begin with?
Yes, they could have. It's called revisionist history, Joel.
Oh, okay.
How much does the Porzingis thing hurt the hinky?
Yeah, terribly.
Oh.
Because Porzingis is like, if you were creating a stretch 5 in a fucking lab, you would create Porzingis. He's 7'3" and he's got 25-foot range and he's tough
Stud.
and
A stud. A future of the NBA in
Are you a
line
Knicks
with
fan?
Dirk.
I forget.
It depends.
Okay.
What if Jim,
God, Dolan's just ruined basketball in New York. Like even like diehard Knicks fans are like, I mean, I hope they do well. I'm just so
tough
beaten
to
down.
root for a team run by JD and the straight shooters. Straight shot. Straight.
Do you feel like we as a society have failed to get the word out that James Dolan is in a blues band and sings and like I know people know it, but I don't know if people know it.
Well,
It is something that is going to have to be on our show.
That's
in
what
like
our
a real
show is
way.
for. I've written several scripts. Everyone
have.
features JD in the straight shot prominently.
Yeah.
They could be the house band. They could write the theme song for the show.
Yeah.
Could we get them as the house band?
I love that idea.
JD in the straight shot.
We want people to watch the show. Bro.
I can't imagine they're busy doing anything else.
First of all, it's always fun when a white person sings blues songs like that. Like, you got bad luck. And it's like, no, this is not. You're the luck. Hold on. I gotta pay tribute to our friends at Stamps.com. Which post office do you guys use?
I can't even find stamps out here. I need to pay the rent.
Glendale.
The answer should have been, I don't use a post office. Using a post office is terrible. It's a terrible place to be. You have to wait in line. You have to be around all these people you don't want to be in the same line with. Little kids running around. Can't find stuff. Somebody's at the line for 10 minutes arguing about whatever. Like, why go? I don't understand. Why would you go to the post office?
Every time I go, it's awful.
You got to find a parking space. The post offices always have like 7-8 parking spaces for 17 cars. You got to stand there. Somebody might hit your fender. I mean, you might get in a car accident in the post office parking lot. Well, just go to Stamps.com. At Stamps.com, you can buy and print official U.S. postage for any letter or package using your own computer or printer. Sign up for Stamps.com right now. Use the promo code BS. You get a 4-week trial. A $110 bonus offer that includes postage and a digital scale. Digital scale you can use for more than postage. You know, you just weigh things. Just weigh anything. Weigh
what?
food, weigh granola. I don't know. The post office situation is lousy. Stamps.com, not lousy. Go to Stamps.com. Click on the microphone at the top of the homepage. Type in BS. That's Stamps.com. Enter BS. All right, it's Brendan time. Come sit in the middle. This is Brendan. No, sit in the middle. Joel, you stay. Yeah. Pull that mic over a little bit.
All right.
You guys have to share a mic like you're Springsteen and whoever in the We Are the World video. Who did Springsteen share the mic with?
Cyndi Lauper?
I don't remember.
You got to move up a little bit.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Now this really is like We Are the World. So, Brendan Lynch, one of our writers, stand-up comic,
Yes.
sports fan.
Sports fan and podcast coach. I was coaching Pat and Joel yesterday about their hot takes.
Oh, what to do? Okay.
Giving them notes.
Hot take coach.
And I was like a proud father sitting there.
Right.
It was beautiful, guys.
Thank you.
Brendan, when we have a bunch of ideas meetings, and there's always one nugget from Brendan's life that skips out. Like, for instance, a couple weeks ago, you just casually in the middle of conversation confessed to going to the 8-hour OJ movie in Santa Monica and how you brought a friend, but you didn't tell him the movie was 8 hours.
Yeah,
You're like, you want to meet at this movie at 1:30? You didn't tell him it was 8 hours long.
Yeah, he was mad. But everyone said no because it's a big ask. Because I assume my wife was gonna go, but she's so sick of OJ stuff. Like I took her on an OJ tour of Brentwood. We've watched every single OJ. We watched courtroom footage together.
Yeah.
And she just said no.
Can
more.
you tell us more about the OJ tour in Brentwood?
Oh, okay. So the OJ tour in Brentwood, there's a guy. His name is Adam, and he's a stand-up comedian. And he offers this OJ tour. The original OJ tour was done by a screenwriter.
Yeah.
Who wrote the cartoon Land Before Time.
And then OJ killed him?
No.
Sorry.
He started doing it during the time of the trial, and then when all these new shows came out, this kid Adam, he got permission to do it, and I read about it and immediately bought a ticket. And you start out at this. First of all, he picks you up in a white Bronco.
I mean, I feel like he should.
What are you doing this weekend?
That's fine. I'm doing this.
The tour is on a Sunday night, like the same night. You meet at him at the school.
Okay.
Where there was the play that.
What?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then he takes you up through the Gretna Green apartment.
Okay.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
To find out, where that was in relation to OJ's house. Then you go over to the restaurant, which is now a Pete's Coffee.
Right. I've been to that Pete's Coffee. I never knew it was a historic Pete's Coffee. It used to be Mezzaluna, where she left the eyeglasses.
a tiny little. I don't want to step on this guy's tour, but
please step on it.
Tiny little note. There were, I believe, 2 other waiters who were murdered who worked at that
At
restaurant.
the Mezzaluna?
Yeah.
Really?
2 other. Yeah.
2 more.
2 more.
Tate agrees. All right.
Yeah. Yeah. Tate was at the 8-hour
saw
OJ.
it.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not surprised.
Google the name Michael Nigg is his name, and there's a YouTube page. I'm sorry, a Wikipedia page dedicated to this.
But wait, on this OJ tour, how do you see the house? Because they knocked it down and they don't even have the address anymore. So you just drive by where the house used to be?
Yeah, you just drive by the OJ's house. Yeah, it's just where it used to be.
And then you go to the Rockingham estate?
Yeah.
Do you go to the McDonald's that he went to with Cato, where he was always rumored to have done God knows what at the McDonald's that got him fired up?
I went to that on my own.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, that was
That McDonald's is still there?
Yeah, it's been totally refurbished. It's now like one of the really new style McDonald's. But
Do you believe that story that him and Cato might have done some substances that got OJ a little fired up? So one of my favorite rumors of that whole thing. Who knows if it's true?
I do think it's interesting that that OJ and Cato, I always thought that they were close, but they weren't close.
Yeah, he was like the houseboy living in the back.
Yeah.
All right, so wait. Your internet deep dives, your last 3. Do you remember what they were?
Yeah. I looked on my phone, and I'm getting really into chiropractic adjustment videos on YouTube. I have a specific guy that I want the listeners to search out. His name is Nelson Vitanzi. He works out of Colorado. This guy is a machine. Okay. This guy is, and my wife won't let me go to a chiropractor. It's one of my dreams, but her dad's a doctor, so she's totally against it. She said she would leave me if I went to a chiropractor.
Okay.
But this guy, Nelson, Vetanze,
yeah,
his videos are fascinating. He has he adjusts Jake Plummer, the snake.
Jake Plummer retired early.
Yeah, well.
Okay, so that's one.
Yeah, that's one.
What's your number 2 deep dive?
So the number 2 deep dive is sort of a continuation of that. I was getting really into chiropractic adjustment videos. Mm-hmm. They relax me. I like to just sit there, maybe a little cocktail, watch someone get adjusted. I don't know what it is. Then all of a sudden I click on this video, chiropractic stroke. What is this? I click on it. It's Kevin Sorbo.
That's the worst porn search ever.
Kevin Sorbo, Hercules. Look this up. He spoke at the this medical conference about how his chiropractor adjusted his neck, and he was driving on Wilshire Boulevard, and Kevin Sorbo is the most amazing storyteller of all time, and it's just him having a stroke in his expensive car. Going from and I have no chiropractors. I have no
ill will toward you. Yeah.
I have no ill will. It's just Kevin Sorbo is not into it. He's totally against neck adjustments specifically. Yeah. But please look that video up because Kevin Sorbo.
Who knew Kevin Sorbo was America's greatest storyteller?
Oh, it's like because. He talks about.
So is he like a modern day Mark Twain? Like, how would you describe him?
Yes.
Okay.
Because he's talking about like the veins in the neck,
yeah.
Right? And then he describes Wilshire as the vein of Los Angeles.
Oh,
it's just beautiful story. I don't know if.
But maybe he had too much muscle to be adjusted. Might have been part of the problem.
Yeah. No. I think
for people like us, it would have been fine. All right. What's your 3rd deep dive?
Oof. I got a couple. I'm gonna pick one. I'm gonna go with. Let's go. Okay, let's go with Eyes Wide Shut. Okay, this is a movie I saw when I was younger. I hated it.
Yeah,
it's like this is the worst piece of garbage I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah,
I can't believe Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman spent 3 years with this maniac in England making this thing. Then on YouTube, looking around, come across these people who analyze the movie.
I may or may not have seen one of these.
And now it's my favorite movie. I can't stop watching Eyes Wide Shut. My wife is like, stop watching that movie. And I'm convinced, like Stanley Kubrick, I mean, the guy was just, he's on another level.
Because people did this with The Shining too. Somebody made a whole documentary about all the things did you see that one?
Yeah,
Room 237?
Totally. Yeah, I saw that.
So you think the Eyes Wide Shut deep dive, seeing things beyond the movie, is even better than it was for The Shining?
Yeah, the theories are.
Give us like two theories.
Two theories are. Well, Red Mask, the character. If you've seen it, there's a sex party.
Yeah.
And there's this Red Mask guy. And when I was watching as a kid, I was like, "This is."
Wait, you're talking about Eyes Wide Shut, not the show party we had.
Yeah. Yeah. No.
Sorry.
Yeah. And there's a theory just about. There's all these theories on who Red Mask is. It's just a lot about how like Stanley Kubrick is telling us that, you know, the Illuminati exists.
Yeah.
And I have no opinion on it. I'm just fascinated. There's all these masks, stuffed tigers. These are things to look out for, people.
Yeah, stuffed tigers always. You always heard that. Isn't the number 33 an Illuminati number? Because I love that number because of Larry Bird, and I've gotten weird emails from Illuminati people like, "Hey, dude, I get the 33 thing, man. You're one of us." I'm like, "No, I'm not. I just like Larry Bird. I'm not in the Illuminati."
Yeah, the 33. You can look up there's all these people online, like Walt Disney's his club at Disneyland. Is
33 Club.
33 Club. And I want to let it be known because sometimes I pitch these out of the box stuff and I don't preface it with like, I'm fascinated by the Illuminati. I don't believe in conspiracy theory. I'm more fascinated that I just love passion. If you're into something, I want to be around you.
Yeah.
So like, you know,
That's why you love Pat.
Pat loves
Pat's
sugar-free
just a
Red Bull.
passionate guy. Yeah.
Sugar-free
He
Red
loves
Bull.
Sugar-free Red Bull and all the Philadelphia sports teams
And
except the Eagles.
stamps.com.
And stamps.com.
But yeah, I just love. So that's what's great about the internet is that you just find these people who are just, you know, while most people are out worrying about a job,
Yeah.
they're watching Eyes Wide Shut frame by frame,
Yeah.
just trying to pick up the nuances. And I want to be a part of it. You know?
Well, this is why we've picked the writers on our staff very carefully, and we love passion more than anything. We have a bunch of passionate people.
If you learned anything today, Bill, you have to have the Lopez twins and chiropractic Kevin Sorbo on the pod.
Talking about Eyes Wide Shut.
Yeah.
Brendan, this might I think we're going to create a podcast for Channel 33, Illuminati number, Channel 33. Didn't realize it. But I think we're going to have a podcast that we're going to create called The Writer's Room, because we have not just you three, but Kathy, and we have Trayvon, who's been on this podcast. And I think we just need a place for these things to be discussed, because it seems like your deep dives change every week too.
Oh yeah, I mean it's based on mood. It's based.
How often do you sleep? Not often.
Last night I went to bed at 3. My wife is in Maryland with her parents, so I've just been, my clock's completely
Before we
off.
go, can you tell the story about when your wife's purse got stolen?
Oh my God. Okay. Yeah. So we were doing I was doing laundry. My wife is a dentist, so I was washing her scrubs. And so I said, "Hey, do you want to walk around the block while, you know, it's in the dryer?" She says, "Sure." So we walk around our block, which is just a normal area of LA called Palms. We're walking around the block, and this guy on a skateboard runs up behind, and I just move out of the way because I know most skateboarders just have nothing to lose, right? Like, why even create a problem? So I just move up, and the guy grabs on, doesn't tackle my wife, but just bear hugs her and starts, and I have never been in a fight in my life, right?
Yeah.
So I start pulling him off of her, and she's screaming, right? And then I go, and I can't think of anything to say to the guy. I'm face to face with him, fist balled, and this is what comes out of my mouth. "Do you want to bang, bro?" because I'm a big Ultimate Fighter fan, and there's a guy on the Ultimate Fighter who just look up "Let Me Bang, Bro."
Yeah.
Because there's this guy who got drunk in the Ultimate Fighter.
Google "Let Me Bang, Bro."
No. YouTube it. YouTube "Let Me Bang, Bro." Because there's this guy, I forget what his name was, but he had a mohawk. But he got drunk in the Ultimate Fighter house, and he just wanted to bang. He just wanted to fight. So I said, "Do you want to bang, bro?" Then these neighbors came out. They surrounded him, tackled him. We called the LAPD. They came like 2 hours later. My wife would not talk to me. The only thing she said to me, she looked at me in the eye and she said, "Do you want to bang, bro?" What was that? And the other guy, and then the cop, nothing really happened. The cop said, "You should have punched him." And I didn't. And my wife accused me of not wanting to break my hand because it would affect my right, which is totally not true. Like,
So
I
this
would have
is like
punched
that-
her.
What was that weird movie that where there was the avalanche, and instead of saving his family, the dad ran out of the way?
Snow Dogs?
No. No, there was a movie. This is the whole point of a movie, and I can't remember the name of it. It was like Norwegian or something, but the dad, instead of protecting, like they're sitting at a ski slope having lunch, and this avalanche is coming, and the dad runs instead of, trying to figure out what. Force majeure.
I gotta look that up.
And the wife, oh my God, this would mess with you for like a week. And the wife is so upset that he didn't protect the family instead of just protecting himself that then the movie ensues after that.
I mean,
I would recommend that. Might be a deep dive for you.
I'm a team player, and let me just say that the reason the guy grabbed onto her, the cop said, is that he smoked synthetic marijuana, which so just
Stay away from that.
stay away from that. Yeah.
Well, I think we're going to launch the Writer's Room next week on Channel 33 because we need more of this. Thanks again to today's sponsor, Casper Mattresses, obsessively engineered American-made mattresses at a shockingly fair price. Get $50 toward any mattress purchase by going to casper.com/BS. Use code BS. Thanks to Stamp.com. Stamps.com. Buy and print official U.S. postage using your own computer and printer. Sign up for Stamps.com right now. Use the promo code BS for a 4-week trial plus a $110 bonus offers. That includes postage and a digital scale. Click on the microphone at the top of the homepage. Type in BS. Thanks again to 5-4 Club. It's a $60 a month high-end clothing membership. We'll provide you with stylish clothes bound to make you stand out in the crowd. Go to 54club.com. Use promo code BS at sign up for 50% off your first package. Thanks to Starry Station, the world's best touchscreen router for blazing fast Wi-Fi. We need it desperately in these offices. Say goodbye to Wi-Fi problems and blinking lights. Control your Wi-Fi on your own. Learn more about Starry Station at starry.com/BS. Please check out theringer.com. We've done some great stuff. Check out our podcast network. We have 8 podcasts going. They're all awesome. And my show launches June 22nd, HBO, Wednesday night, any given Wednesday. Give your Twitter handle so people can follow you on Twitter. Joel?
It's Joel W. Solomon, SOLOMON.
Brendanzig, BRENDANZIG.
Pat Barker Comedy.
Yeah, follow those guys. It's fun having you in my life. This has been good. We got our show launching soon, and we have a good time here in the office. So thank you for being on the podcast.
Thanks for having us.
And bet the Warriors tonight. Enjoy the weekend.
Anytime y'all want to see me again, rewind this track right here, close your eyes, and picture me rolling.